recording. Woo! And then you go like this for sound. If I just clapped my butt cheeks together, that would be so funny. I wish I could do that. I can't twerk. I wish I could.
Really?
I can't. I think I can't twerk.
I'm so happy that you're doing this. This is great.
Thank you.
Look at you.
Wow.
Telephone's so unnecessary.
Sometimes it rings.
Oh.
We'll see what happens. I wear socks on it, and I think that I should, on my Patreon, make like 10 minutes where both of the comedians don't wear any socks or shoes.
I feel like comedians have gross feet.
Ew.
Males.
Probably. I'll put this here, then I can see. I forgot to switch that. Yeah, I think I can't twerk because I'm too insecure about not knowing how to dance. You really have to like not be in your head to twerk. Loosen those cheeks. You know, you can't be an insecure twerker. I could do that impression on stage.
That's funny.
This
an
is my
insecure twerker, yeah.
This is my impression of the insecure.
The overthinker.
Cheers. Party.
Yep.
Woo!
Good sound.
All right.
You can hear the person swallowing.
It's ASMR. ASMR. Well, John is one of my longest friends in LA.
Yes.
And now he left me and moved to New York. So we're trying to get him back.
I know. And I come back a lot. But I want to come back more. Yeah. Obviously, I miss it. LA's great. LA's great, man. LA, and we're rolling now, right? We're on.
Oh, we're going.
LA gets a bad rap. I don't know why.
It's because everyone's hot.
Yeah, people just hate on LA. It's like, oh, and it's like, dude, I mean, it's beautiful weather all the time. It's good energy, I think, out here, especially right now. LA seems like it's in a good place right now. It feels good.
I think it is. It's my mom. She left this morning, and I was like, it's crazy, all the homeless people. We got into town because I got in town did the road with Matt the night before. And we talked all this shit in Boston and Chicago, how clean it was. Holy shit.
Because they look, Boston's clean, right?
Oh my God.
I was just in Boston. Boston looks great, yeah.
I want to move to Boston. Comedy, go to Boston.
Boston looks good. I was just there. Chicago, I didn't know Chicago had cleaned up.
It was beautiful too. Not as much as Boston.
New York's truly disgusting right now. It needs help. And I hope it'll come back. It's New York City. It's New York City. But yeah, it's not great right now.
Yeah. Well, good thing is LA just cleared up. So I was like talking shit. Boston, I'm going to move to Boston and Chicago. Tell my mom I pick her from the airport. And then I come and they moved them. I don't understand how that works.
I don't know what they did with them. The homeless. What's that noise?
I don't know. I think that sometimes these mics really pick up the neighbors.
Wow.
So I usually will put on the headphones and masturbate to when they have sex. Or you hear a murder.
Yeah,
or a sex murder.
Right, a sex murder when you're like, duh. I don't know if we should interrupt. They sound like they're enjoying it.
I remember that show where they talk about the crazy ways you can die. I forgot what it was called. And the one about the person who got suffocated by this woman's tits and died. Like she was like, yeah, like overweight, big old titty, like bigger than big old titties. And he died.
Yeah, that's weird because like, wow, what do you do when that's happening? You know? Did she
get in trouble for murder?
Does he know that he's suffocating while he's suffocating? Or is he just like not know what's going on and he's just dead? Like, is there a point where you're like, I'm not breathing? You know what I mean? Because you're so like, whoa, and then all of a sudden you're like, I think I'm not breathing, and then it's like, wait, it's too late. You know, is it gradual where he was like, you know, I can't breathe, stop, and she was like, more, you know?
Yeah.
But I have a feeling like maybe he was just really into it, And sometimes, you're not breathing. You ever catch yourself not breathing? And then you're like,
I get in my, I
like
freak
right
out.
now, I go, have I just not I was just not breathing for a minute. And then you got to take a deep breath. I've been doing that a lot more because breathing exercises are, but I could see like, holding your breath kind of because you're just so in the moment. And then you're like, oh no, this is too long.
Yeah.
And I'm not holding my breath. I just can't breathe.
And then it probably was a quick panic and then done.
So maybe he didn't even know it was happening. And he was just dead. But I hear that, but when you're picking up the neighbor's noise, I keep thinking of Dahmer, how she could hear the murder scene events
and smell it.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh, did you watch the whole docuseries?
Well, I watched or
the real documentary?
I didn't watch the documentary. I watched the show.
Yeah, the show.
Yeah. Did you?
I'm not done with it, but my mom spoiled the end. I told her to spoil it, so I pretty much finished it.
It was I thought it was the first couple episodes were really good, and then it was like, oh, this is so. I don't know if this should be like a scripted show because this really happened. This is kind of messed up.
That's what all the families are complaining.
Yeah,
and
I was
the
like,
victims are complaining.
This is like dark. Mm-hmm. This is not. He did this, So other stuff that other shows about murder, like stuff that really happened. I don't know. It's like there is a level of intrigue to the to a scripted show about it because you're like, oh, like let's see how it happened in not a documentary style format, and then you're like, oh wow, this is pretty nuts. But with Dahmer, it was like, this is too much. Like I feel like this isn't right.
Do you
agree. Know what I'm saying?
I didn't finish it.
Am I making sense?
No, I completely. I started it and it freaked me out. Also, they showed the trial of the guy from the first episode in real life on YouTube. There's a trial of that. Then the first episode was his story. Was so contrived. It was so fiction. It was not what really happened.
Right.
So knowing that just from the first episode, then the rest of it, I'm like, is this real? Did this really happen? How much of it is the truth?
Yeah, it's there was nothing interesting for a scripted series about it. It was like this guy, just obviously gay guy who just murdered and ate people, and there wasn't anything like Ted Bundy, for instance, is a little interesting because he was attractive. So it's interesting to like, and it was so like he had this like girlfriend for a long time that had no idea, and then he like escaped prison. I mean,
that has like this is this guy.
All he did was
trapped guys, fucked him, ate him,
and then
killed him.
That was it, and then they just found him, and it wasn't like that. There was nothing interesting about it for a scripted series. It was just like really dark. The most interesting part was that the neighbor could hear him through the vents. Like they should have almost made it more about that. But all that is frustrating that the cops essentially. It was frustrating to watch because you're like, oh, this could have been prevented in a million different ways. The cops didn't do their job, of course. The neighbor. I mean, at what point do you do even more? At what point do you go, I'm fucking breaking in?
I wonder how much she did. Because she said in the show she did a lot.
I'm sure she did a lot. And I'm not faulting her because, gosh, being, a black woman during that time, he's a white guy. The cops don't take her seriously. I totally understand where she's coming from. But I don't know, but like at what point do you just go, dude, there's a smell, there's yells. Like, I don't even care. I'm going to figure this out or move or something. And then the cops obviously did a bad job. The parents did a bad job. I mean, he was obviously a psychopath. I just feel like there was a million opportunities to catch him along the way. And so it was just kind of like, but
sucks. My mom told, I didn't know that he got killed in jail. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
I had no clue that. And then one of the craziest things that I thought was how, are you laughing at me?
No. It's just funny that this is how we started. This was not.
It's a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
And comedy is dark.
It is dark.
I'm surprised there hasn't been any stand-up murderers besides the Joker, which is not real.
Right. I think every comedian is surprised that there hasn't been a comedian murderer.
Is this real from IKEA?
No, it's not real.
Shit.
Fuck.
Maybe.
So, yeah, that's
surprising.
Almost, yeah, I don't even want to.
No.
Oof. But you know what? I don't know. Comedians may. I feel like I could see comedians also not doing it Because as much as you think that they would, as much as it's a group that like it's such a dark scene, I feel like there's this, to do stand-up, there's this need to be liked and wanted a little bit.
Of course.
And so in order to, I mean, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, they probably would rather be cool and be in than do that. But I don't know. This is a tough topic because I don't know how, to be honest with you, I just don't know how there hasn't been yet. So,
it is very surprising, especially if they're going to get a TV show.
Well, there was kind of. Oh,
really?
To get a TV show. Well, we shouldn't even float that out there.
Right.
But didn't someone kill Tony, and some guy did kill Tony and he killed his girlfriend?
That was pretty recent, like right before the quarantine.
Pandemic or something, yeah.
I forgot the story, but I remember hearing the story.
Yeah, I don't know about but someone that went up and did the kill Tony, he actually then ended up killing his girlfriend. Yeah, so that happened. Anyway.
All right,
Whew,
so we're gonna wait. I'm worried this is in your face. Here, push this down like that. Like, let's try that just in case, and then turn this however you want.
Okay.
Or just move this around to where it feels good.
Yeah, it's good. So yeah.
All right, man. Murder. I'm not a big one into the murder documentaries.
Me neither, actually.
Yeah. But you know, I get to hear enough about them at every single stand-up show, so I'm good.
American Psycho, by the way, I did watch American Psycho recently, and I'm watching it now as a comedy. It's actually a very hilarious movie.
Really?
With Christian Bale.
Huh. He's great.
Yeah, the movie is actually so funny. I never realized it before. Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's wild.
Oh, I'm also real quick. One more TV thing. When my mom was in town, I always like to choose a show for us to binge.
Yeah,
it's just fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So last time,
cute.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So I've been waiting to watch White Lotus with her, and it came out I think over a year ago.
Okay.
Season 2 is coming out in December.
I know nothing about it.
I didn't either.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew it was trending. Everyone was talking about it. So we binge it, and it's one of those crazy shows that just give you mad anxiety after that you can't forget.
Oh, nice.
So we spent our entire vacation feeling weird.
Oh.
But it was so good.
Yeah, I mean that's so cute that you guys do that.
It's nice. We wanted a fun rom-com like Emily in Paris or something, but nothing was out right now.
I don't even know I have no idea what it's about. I've seen it. Like I've seen the title, but I don't even know what it's about.
It's about a hotel in Hawaii, and it follows the different stories of all the different rich, fucked up people.
Oh, okay.
And it intertwines them, and
I can get into that.
It was good.
Oh, okay.
But you will feel very weird after.
Good.
So those are good to do right before bed.
Right. No. Yeah. But then you got to follow it up. Obviously, you got to follow it up with something, a comedy but no.
Yeah, it wasn't dark enough where you can't go to sleep.
You just laid with it.
But you do have nightmares.
Oh, nice.
You know what people I hate? Maybe, I have such a good wiener to talk about. Okay.
So this wiener thing that you do a wiener
I
thing.
do a wiener, a weekly wiener.
Weekly wiener. That's good. I like that, catchy.
Yeah.
The weekly wiener. Wiener, by the way, is a great word.
I think it is too.
Wiener is so funny.
I was going to make merch for the podcast that just said wiener. And I was thinking, you know how different podcasts have like names for their fans?
Right. Wieners.
The wieners.
Yeah.
But then people are like, well, wieners you're saying are a bad thing. Do you want your fans to be wieners? But in the end, we all are wieners at some time.
That's funny. Weenie is like it's like, oh, you're a weenie. But wieners are kind of funny. Like, I'm a wiener.
Right?
Also, I'm a wiener. I'm a wiener.
I do it. I write it, and then it just says in accent.
Yeah. No, winner.
Yeah.
Wiener.
So it's not, that's the positive way if you say it like that.
No, I'm a wiener. You're a wiener? A wiener. You're a wiener.
It sounds like that's a commercial.
Yeah.
Do you have a wiener? John?
Relax. That's such a weird, the way that you asked it too would be so funny. Like you're just sitting there and just like, hey, do you have a wiener?
Yeah. What's your wiener like?
Well, by the way, never could not laugh as a kid if someone's last name was Wiener.
You knew someone with the last name Wiener? You knew multiple people?
Yeah, there'd be someone that name was Wiener, and I always felt bad, but it was always the funniest thing to me when someone's last name was Wiener. It is the funniest thing, and I cannot not think it's funny. I feel bad, but like there are a lot of people out there with last names Wiener. Wow. And it's last name Wiener, and it's such a funny last name.
I wonder what ethnicity Wiener is.
I can't not laugh. I'm like, hey, I'm Matt Wiener. I'm like, I
always think when people change
it.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and especially if it's a male, because
I mean, a female's not fun. I think it might be more traumatizing growing up as a female and having wiener.
And you don't want to be a female wiener.
No, you don't want to be a female wiener. Well, look, there's nothing against female wieners.
Yeah, there's totally, it's totally fine if you're a female wiener.
Yeah.
I actually love female wieners.
Yeah, female wieners are great,
They're
actually.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Male wieners, bleh.
There is no male or female wieners. There are just wieners.
Wieners.
Yeah.
Whew.
But I do, yeah.
Hold up. Oh my God, who is it? Oh, it's my publicist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, thank you.
You have your publicist only call on this phone?
Yeah, I don't like to mix work.
Is your publicist Batman?
You wish.
Yeah.
I'm so
Batman would be the worst publicist, by the way.
Yeah, that was a really close one, but I don't think that you want to talk to him? It would just be quick.
Hello? Yes. It's really interesting. I actually want to ask you. I actually took public relations classes in college, and I want to know if I can return the classes because it is so obsolete now. What I learned in college that public relations is the exact opposite of what.
Doesn't like that question.
Oh. Okay. Anyway, you're fired. Female wieners, it is.
But I think a male wiener would be worse because then you have to find someone who's going to marry you and become a wiener.
That is tough. I imagine if you're a woman wiener, you're just like, dude, if I'm a woman wiener, I'm marrying someone at 12. I'm gonna move to Salt Lake City,
100%,
where they get married super young.
Easy.
Then I'm just gonna marry a non-wiener and leave it all behind.
Any name but wiener.
Oh man, that's. Who decided that? That's so fun. Some words are so funny. It's so funny that somebody started calling a penis a wiener.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, and it makes perfect sense. But someone was the first person to do that. Somebody was like wiener, and then it just stuck, and it made sense.
Yeah, probably was a smaller dick, but it wasn't too small, so it was unfunny.
Dick is weird because it's Richard, and then Richard is Dick, and then that's kind of a whole weird thing. But and then you can be a dick, but wiener is weird because it's such a goofy word.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I can hear dick and not think of a dick.
Yes.
Because you could hear like Dick Tracy, or you could hear like, oh, you're being a dick.
A lot of other dicks.
When I hear wiener, I only hear male genitalia. That's all it is. Wiener is never, if someone says wiener, I just want to giggle.
It is a fun word.
It's the best word.
We don't have that word for the female.
No. All women, all names for them are pretty like, there's nothing funny.
They're either technical or very...
Coochie.
Ooh, coochie's fun.
Coochie, yeah.
Coochie.
Ooh.
He's got a
You
wiener.
want that coochie?
I
And
got a coochie.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a good song.
Yeah. Wiener coochie.
Wiener coochie.
You put your wiener into the coochie.
Now, it's a wiener coochie dance.
Yeah. That's how you teach kids?
Yeah.
You take your wiener into her coochie. Well, what's that? I'm thinking of a Cheer. What's the song? Not Mickey, You're So Fine, but like it's another one.
I think it was Mickey.
He calls me something, but I don't know what it is.
Hey,
no, but there's another one. You take your wiener into the coochie.
Man.
But I've never had someone say wiener in bed.
That would be bad.
Yeah. Have I?
I think you wouldn't forget that.
Show me your wiener. Imagine just...
Take out your wiener.
Yeah. You have such a nice wiener.
That's the biggest wiener I've ever seen.
You have a nice wiener. Look at that wiener.
No.
Interesting. Okay. Well, this is a weird conversation.
So what's your wiener?
What's my wiener? So a wiener is something that annoys me, kind of, essentially. I have so many wieners.
There's a lot of wieners you have to deal with in this world.
So many wieners, so little time.
So with all these wieners, what wiener do you want to bring for your weekly wiener?
So maybe I talk about more than one, but I think one wiener. This has been a wiener of mine for a while. This is a long wiener.
Okay.
It's an old wiener.
Old longing. Old and
So
long.
here's the thing. Okay, so for our careers, right? Like for our literal careers, right? Like it's important to have followers. It is. And it's becoming increasingly more important. And it's annoying, but so after shows and stuff, you see people and you're like, oh, follow me on Instagram. And like if somebody has like a regular job, they don't need Instagram followers. They've got a private account. They don't really, they use it just to look. They use it to look at stuff that they like. We use it to get booked.
100%.
We use it to sell tickets. So we need the follows. And in doing that, you can't follow everyone back because it delegitimizes your Instagram. You can't just be following everybody. I mean, I guess you could, but it's just not something you want to do. And then your feeds flood. It's like, you need to be, our Instagrams are our work accounts.
100%.
They are work accounts. They're very vital. It's a very, very, very important part of our careers. So my wiener is after shows when people ask me to follow them back. Like someone that watched the show and they're like, you were so funny, man. I was so great. Oh, and even sometimes they'll just be like, what's your Instagram? And then they'll ask me to follow back. Or sometimes I'll be honest. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, follow me on Instagram if you enjoyed it. I post my shows. And they'll be like, okay, but you got to follow me back. And it's like, but dude, do you eat off of your Instagram? I eat because my Instagram helps me eat food and pay my rent.
Mm-hmm.
You have a job at, a great job maybe, but like a regular job.
You're accountant.
Where you're an accountant, where you literally can't even have a public Instagram. Your Instagram will never make you a dime. And you want me to follow you back. I know they don't get it, because they don't get it. But I'll say to them like, hey, and I hate doing it, but I'll say back like, I don't really follow people from shows back. And sometimes they'll be, especially girls will be like, one girl one time goes, you're not that cool. And I was like, but it's not a cool meter, man.
I'm not trying to be cool.
You enjoyed my set. You came up to me, you told me I was funny. I brought you joy. So if you want that to happen again, follow me. I post shows and it helps me get rebooked. You want to see me back at this club? Follow me.
It's a free way to support a comic.
Literally. And plus you're going to get content. You're going to get stuff. If you like me, follow me. But they don't understand that. So like, you got to follow me back. And I'm like, but what does that do for you, me following you back? This literally helps my career. Mm-hmm. And every follow helps. I mean, I do believe that.
It really does.
Because maybe they see you, maybe they tell other friends about you, then their friends follow you, or maybe just when you come back, when I go back to that club, you see that I'm going back there, you come back with a group of people. So it's like, there's a lot in it for me. Or just the numbers help. So that is a huge wiener when people that have like a regular job ask me to follow them back and then I guess I can get behind the wiener one is ask me to follow them back, but I understand they might not get it. Wiener 2 is getting rude with me when I'm like, well, I can't, or I'm not going to. That's a huge wiener because it's like we're talking about my career,
It is an apples the apples.
Right.
Apples the apples sounded wasted.
And the follows really, and if you're watching this, the follows of artists or people that have public careers, they really, really help. That's how we're getting booked now. And I will say like, hey, this is how we get booked. And sometimes I'll sit there and I'll talk to people about it and they'll be like, wait, that's crazy. I go, yeah. You thought it was funny? One person recently was like, I'm not joking. They were like, that was the best show I've ever seen. They're like, you're my new favorite comedian. And I was like, thanks. And I was like, shoot me a follow. And then someone they were with was like, oh, you got to shoot us to follow back. And they were cool about it. But I was like, oh, it really helps. I will even say, don't worry about following me then. I'll say that to them. I'll be like, it's all right. Because I don't want that annoyance. But they were cool. They were like, one of them was like, can you follow me? I was like, I don't know if I really follow back. And they were like, it's all right. We'll follow you. And
at least you're being honest.
I was like, look, I go, they book off of this stuff. And they were like, what? I go, you think I'm your favorite comedian? I go, I'll never be back here if I don't have more followers. And they were like, really? And I go, they don't care. This club does not care that I just crushed. They don't care.
No, they want their seats full.
They need their seats full. And I was like, dude, and these are the same people that will go follow people, they'll follow people on TikTok or like that aren't even, and give them careers, someone that just is dancing. I'm like, when people have followers, the industry looks at that and then they book them and they equate followers to ticket sales, and they're like, wait, that sucks. I'm like, yeah, I'm losing bookings to influencers who aren't even comedians. And they were like, that's really bad. What are you talking about? I go, that's just what's happening. And they were like, oh, and then they all followed and were like, well, tell more people to follow you. They were cool. But some people think I'm like lying to them.
Why? Yeah, that's
because
insane.
They see me on stage and they're like, this guy must be successful. And I'm like, no, dude, they don't care. They can't comprehend that and they're not wrong for not being able to comprehend. They can't comprehend that they think if you're good at stand-up, you're going to get booked because it's comedy. They don't understand that it doesn't matter if you're funny anymore.
If only.
They can't understand that. They're like, wait, it doesn't matter if you're funny, but it's funny business. It doesn't matter.
It's
so
still a business.
So that's a wiener. And the fact that I have to even describe it or explain it to them is annoying.
Yeah.
Do you find, I mean, right?
Yeah, 100%. I do this bad habit of when someone after a show asks for my Instagram,
oh gosh.
I know. I do like dig that hole, that awkward, like Zoe Deschanel ruining things.
Right.
I'll be like, oh, thanks for the follow. I'll follow you right back. Oh, I'll definitely follow you back. Like, I just get so excited. It's like a tick of like when you don't want to hug someone and you just go and give them a big hug. And you're like,
so let's.
Yeah. Like, why are we fucking?
Yeah. I don't hug. Let's fuck.
So
Show me your wiener.
So, do you have a wiener? So I do that. I don't know why I do that. I
It's
need
so
to
funny
stop
to say
saying
like that. Do you have a wiener?
Do you have a wiener? That's so stupid. Oh, so that's a problem I have.
Oh my God, your wiener. Cool.
Yeah, it does not sound sexy.
Because I put the kibosh on it immediately because I'm like, look, if you want to support me in my comedy, if you liked my comedy, follow me. I'm not gonna, and if not, fine. And I don't really want to be like that, but I'm not, it's too exhausting to be like, sure, I'll follow you back. We'll figure it out. It's like, no. It's also a wiener when someone who maybe is even in the industry, but like, or trying, or like, you know, in New York, this happens a lot. I think New York comics are a little more open to this stuff, and maybe I'm too stingy. So I'll admit that. But I'll be with like a comic that's like, you know, I'll do like a bar show and there'll be a comic there who's like 2 years in. And in front of me, they'll be like, oh, what's your Instagram? And I'll be like, John Campanelli 1. And they'll be like, cool. Followed you, follow me back. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know who you are. I just don't know you.
It's so funny. I think because you really don't want to follow people back that you put that out there, that it's created people asking you to follow them.
But right, like people really want my follow, but I'm like, it's not that cool, man. They like really want. But I've also been around like such successful big names and stuff that I would never do that to them. I would be mortified to be like, oh, I just followed you, follow me. I would have to like, maybe after like the third or fourth time meeting them, I'd be like, you know, and I felt comfortable when we were talking. I'd be like, yo, shoot me a follow. If it came up for business purposes, I get it. You know, it's nice to have those accounts following. But I could never imagine meeting someone who was, you know, bigger than I was and, you know, more, you know, been in it longer and then just been like, yo, I just followed you, follow me without even knowing them. Someone asked me to do a show and they were like, oh, I want you to do a show. And they were basically just like, I was like, cool, let's do it. And this is where I'm kind of probably wrong, but it wasn't a great show. I would do the stage time. They're like, I just followed you, follow me back. And then we can message. I go, well, what about text? If it's about a show, can we text? He goes, no, I don't text. And he didn't want to give me his number. I'm like, okay, so you don't want to give me your number, which is weird. I have A-listers numbers on my phone. No one's.
Why is he hiding his number?
He doesn't want to give me his number because he wanted me to follow him back on Instagram. And I think he knew what I was doing.
Oh.
So I was like, well, I don't want to follow you back. I don't want to communicate on Instagram really for bookings. I'd rather do email or text. But so I don't want to do the Instagram thing and you don't want to do the phone thing. So I guess it's fine, man. It's nice to meet you. I'm just gonna.
That's kind of awesome.
I'm gonna double down. I'm not.
It's like awful and awesome at the same time.
Yeah. And that's a little bit of me. I understand the part of this is on me. Like I'm a little stingy with it, but you know, that's just how it is. But yeah, I don't like when people put you on the spot for that.
No, with anything, you should never have to ask for something.
Yeah,
like
just let them do it, or just like it. Yeah, it's just it's aggressive, and it's like because my whole thing too is like I don't even know you. Like, what if you turn out to be a weirdo? I don't want to have to unfollow you.
One thing I've noticed a lot,
especially new comics that are putting stuff up too quick, and you're like,
I was just about to say that,
dude. I don't even want to be Because I feel like when someone follows someone, I feel like that's a stamp of approval.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got some big accounts that follow me. I think it's really cool. And I feel like that helps me when people go to my page or like, oh, so-and-so follows this person. That's cool. So it's like, I don't want to act like I support something I don't support necessarily. Like, I don't have to think you're funny. Like I could just think you're cool or something and that could be a follow. But like, if you're like, some people I meet are like, in this industry, they're a little off. People can be in life, they're a little off. And if I think you're a little off, you're like, follow me. I'm like, you could be the first killer. You could be the first guy to do it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, let me see how this pans out for a little bit. I just want to.
Okay. This is what I think. So with social media, I think young girls wear makeup too soon and young comedians are too thirsty too soon.
We would, by the way, in defense, and I'm never in defense, would this be the thing when we started? We would have been doing the same thing.
Yes.
This is how they've been. This is what they've been told they're supposed to do.
We would 100% be the same growing up with that. But the whole thing with comedy, which we got lucky. You got a great start, and I got lucky with being cool with being patient,
right,
and understanding that, and never trying to rush this,
right.
To a fault, to where it's now like last year I was like, okay, you should probably get shit done. But just knowing I moved out here and I was like, it takes 10 years to get good at comedy.
The thing about jokes is that they need to be battle tested before they go up. Because comedians are like, oh, I'm getting pushback on this joke. It's because it's not ready yet and it is offensive. So comedians will be like, oh, people get so offended so easily. They do get more offended now. They are more sensitive for sure. But there are a lot of clips being posted that simply aren't funny and are actually offensive. And I would have been guilty of it back then. And everyone's guilty of it. There's jokes that I did that I'm so happy I didn't put up. That I'm like, oh man, that was just, not how this joke wasn't received the way I thought it was being received. And because it takes a while to work out the kinks of a joke. So comedians just, I did it once. I'm a new comic. I think I got a laugh here. I'll post it because there's a laugh. It's like, but it's so bad, and it is offensive and it's just not ready. There's a joke I'm doing right now where I thought it was ready and I thought about posting it because I really like it. And I was like, fuck it, I might just post this. And then the other day I'm with someone and they said something and I go, it's a non-comic, and they were talking to me about my joke and they told me something that their mom did. And I go, oh shit, that's funny. And I go, that just inspired this part. So I just added a new part to the joke.
By just waiting and letting life help.
But because you never know if, like, I want to put a special out. If I put a special out on a joke and I think of something about that I could have added on later, then it's like whatever. But this joke is still pretty new. But I was even guilty of almost rushing it to put it out. But now I'm like, oh no, there's a whole nother chunk now that is so fucking funny.
It's so tough to
And she
hold
saw me
back
do it and
doing
she goes, that is so funny.
Yay.
I just started putting it on. She's like, that's so funny. And yeah, exactly. So rushing the process is name of the game right now.
100%. But why do I keep saying 100%? I hate when you like randomly.
Is that new?
Yeah, I randomly pick up new things and then you hear it because you're like,
so funny.
I always catch them. I always have new ones. I think you pick it up from someone and then it just like sticks to you like a tick.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't 100%.
And then you catch yourself doing 100%.
It. Or like your friends will say, I always call my friends out when they'll say different things too. I had one friend that went like, I love that. I love that. I love that. And I was
That's a little bit of a wiener.
Please stop. Yeah.
That's a wiener.
Me or the thing?
You're a wiener.
I'm a wiener now.
You're a female wiener.
Woo!
It's a little bit of a wiener, I think, that you do that when you pick up something. No, and that's not a wiener. It's a person or a thing. But I was gonna say when someone picks up like someone says something new too much, and you're like, well,
no, it's a wiener.
Where'd you get that? Who are you? You ever be dating someone and then they'll start saying something like new, and you're like, where'd you get that from?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you hanging out with that you got that from?
Or
like,
who you're dating says what you say.
Yeah, that too. When you hear it start to rub off and you're like, all right, it's a little bit.
It's too much. All right, my wiener is really fucked up. And
well, that's a little much of an overshare. Is it crooked?
It was too short. And you'll see this pun fall out in a second.
Yep.
That doesn't make sense. I don't even want to talk about it much because I'm trying to get myself to move on.
Okay.
So I went to get a haircut last week because I did I did Ontario shows all weekend with Chappelle Lacey, which was
Dave.
super cool. I always have to say the
Obviously.
full name now because everyone's going to. And he had this great guy that was doing photos the whole weekend. My hair was so long because when I went to get, I always only get it cut in Florida twice a year. Last time she didn't cut it enough, and I was like, I should have said something. I didn't. To where the fact that I was like, now I look like a horse lady, and I hate when you start to look like a horse lady. You know what I mean? It just like gets too long.
Horse, you think you look like a horse?
Like
Women are so hard on themselves with stuff like that. They'd be like, I just hate my hair. Now I look like a horse lady. We'll come back from a haircut or a non-haircut in this instance and be like, oh my God, I didn't time it out right. Look, I look like a horse lady.
You don't even know. It's about to get so much worse. So like photos, like my hair was like
a guy never gets a haircut and goes, I look like a frog boy.
Yeah, they don't. Because we're crazy about this stuff.
Yeah,
we're very sensitive about our hair.
I know.
So my hair is down to here. I go to this lady who originally in 2019 I got a Groupon with. She did a good job. I found her in my text. She was text alerts. I didn't know. Because women's haircuts out here in LA are $150. This lady is $90. I was like, I can't pay that much, but I really want. I get OCD about things. Like when I need it done, I need it done, or I just obsess.
Right.
So I messaged her. She had an appointment before we went to Boston and Chicago. I was like, perfect. I go. And so it's to here, and I asked for it below the bra strap. Ready for this? Below the bra strap.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
Can everyone see this?
Okay.
I asked for it there.
That's where you wanted your hair.
That's below the bottom of the bra strap.
Wait, where was your hair before
the
that?
The bottom of the bra strap.
Your hair was longer than that?
It was like here. Horse lady.
I'm not going to lie.
See? It was bad.
You were a horse.
Horse. So wait, can they see there?
I think so, yeah.
And it's not there. You see that?
Bra strap. Okay, yeah.
You see where it is?
Yes.
That's a lot shorter.
So now your hair is only here.
I'm obsessed.
I actually think it looks good.
Thank you.
But I'll say, like, I'll not like, I'll be like, oh my God, your hair looks good. And they'll be like, oh yeah, for a horse. And they're like, dude, what? I don't even. Like, it's so hard.
I start like galloping.
It's so true that you can compliment a woman and then she will get mad. Like, and then you're in trouble and you're like, dude, I was complimenting you. I don't know why. And it's like, oh, you like my hair? It's like, dude, yeah. All right, I won't even say anything. It's so funny.
It is funny. Yeah. So I was a total girl after this. My hair has never been this short in my life. I love having long hair.
I think it looks great.
Thank you. I'm adjusting. And the positive thing is, I think that this was forced upon me in a way to try something new. It was a good lesson of trying to understand the non-seriousness of something.
Yeah.
And in a mature way.
I will say that does suck for women though, because you get a bad haircut. It's like, if you get a bad haircut, that could really fuck up like a solid month or two of your life.
Well,
if a guy gets a bad haircut, I'll be like, the next 6 days aren't going to be amazing. You know?
I did the math. Your hair grows 6 inches in a year. I probably wanted 3 inches. I got 6 inches or more. So it's going to take a year for my hair to grow back to where it was, but 6 months for it to be where I want it to be. Half a year for I want to get my hair to what I asked for. 6 months. And my headshots have long hair. Everything I have has this is a very different look.
You know what? Shave it.
I was thinking
that.
You know
what? Shave it. No more horse lady.
The worst part is, I told her about my podcast. Oh, so I don't say anything to her. It's so funny. I turn and I see this piece and I think, oh my God, the layer is too short. I was freaking out in my head that the first layer angle was too short. It turned out to be my whole head.
I immediately will know. The thing with guys' haircut is I'll immediately know that they're going to go too short because I can just tell by like what they do and what they use. Sometimes I feel like they just stop paying attention. I'm like, this guy just stop paying attention and they are cutting my hair too short. And then I'm just like, hey, I think it's a little short, you know? But then again, like I said, I'm just like, just got to wait it out for like a week or so.
That's not bad.
I will say LA, I got some of the best haircuts and worst haircuts because I feel like it was inconsistent and it really depends on like if that person feels like being too much of an artist at that moment.
Ooh,
Because I'm like, dude, just cut my hair. I was always worried I was going to get up. It's going to be like flock of seagulls. Like they just like did too much to it. That was the one thing that always scared me. But sometimes I take a buzzer and you're like, didn't do a buzzer last time, you know? But yeah, I don't think this is right. And I'm just sitting there going, they're cutting it too short. And sometimes you just don't even know how to process it. You just go, just letting it happen. Just letting it happen. Letting them cut it too short, you know?
Yeah. Everyone was like, what did you say to her? Did you get your money back? Did you do anything? I acted like I loved it.
Yeah, that's funny. That's so bad. That's funny. It's hard. I'm getting to a point now. Where I will speak up. If something is not being done right, I just go, no, that's not what I wanted. Because I feel like people are getting sloppier. And
so much so.
And so now, because of that, I feel like people are just not as present. I'll just be like, that's not what I wanted. And I'm paying you for this service. So I should get what I want. I should get what I'm paying for.
I usually have. I have gotten better too.
Yeah.
But at this point, I was so in shock and it was over.
Right.
There was nothing, I didn't see it happen until it was done.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so nice. I told her about the podcast. She followed me on Instagram and I'm like, what if she hears this? But that's where I'm like, I'm not going to not say this out of that. If you hear this, I'm not mad at you.
I actually think it looks great.
Thanks. My mom and Matt like it a lot.
I like it. Yeah.
I feel naked, but you know.
I mean, that's a crazy thing to say that you feel naked.
I feel naked and I did cry a bunch. I got to Matt's hysterical.
So funny.
There's two types of girls. One that if you cut more than an inch, their life is over. And one that give it to locks of love and just cut off 10 at a time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. If I ever roll up to anyone's house crying over a haircut, I'm like, dude, they would say this to me. It looks exactly the same as every other haircut. You know, that's what they would say to me.
No one has noticed. So
I didn't notice.
See, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's fun trying new things. I'm going to learn to curl it and be girly and yeah.
I have another wiener. Do we do one more?
Yeah. Let's do a quick wiener.
Okay, quick wiener.
This is the quickie wiener of the week.
Jackhammer wiener. I don't like this. I don't like the new thing. And this people talk about this. I don't like when you're getting takeout and they put it on the screen like the tip menu. You have to like answer the tip question first. And it's like, dude, I'm picking this up. I'm not doing it. There's a place that I won't go to anymore because it's so expensive. Everything's so expensive. This place is so expensive. Additionally, they have a 3% credit card fee that they don't even tell you about. I just now know because I've gone there before. So for takeout, it's like an extra 3% for the credit card, plus it's super expensive. And then tax, of course. So I'm like, all right. And then they always put the screen and kind of like look at you. I'm like, dude, this. I got one thing that's like, I'm not tipping. And maybe they feel weird about it too, but it just shouldn't be a thing. And I don't understand why. And I have to hit no thanks. It just shouldn't be that. Like
tips are that's at everything, food, everything now is that.
I don't like, so that's wiener one. I don't like the tip menu for takeout. And I don't like when you have to pay and say no to the tip before the food is ready.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Because Jersey Mike's will charge you before the sandwich is done. And if you tip, they hit the bell.
I know.
And if you don't tip, they don't hit the bell.
And they send you to hell.
And yes,
Jersey Mike's
door.
hell.
And I'm like, dude, I'm soup because I'm weird with that stuff. So I'm now uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, look, my sandwich is like a half an inch shorter than it should, or like, a little bit shorter than it would have been. I feel like if I tip, they give you a little more. And if they don't, they're like, all right, this is the no tip sandwich for you. And here is the tip sandwich for you. And yeah. And you're like, well, just the size of it and how they put more love into it. And you're like, dude, why would I tip you on this? That's crazy.
It's the same thing with giving a hug and doing the too much. I'll always throw a couple bucks or tip, not at all like a full tip because I just feel weird. But this one place I get acai bowls, they're $15.
Yeah, that's a lot for an acai bowl.
And then I used to tip a couple bucks because I'd feel bad. But now we're bringing my 15 bowl I shouldn't have to 17. The thing is, they take so long. The service sucks.
Yeah.
So then I started clicking no tip and I still feel bad every time.
No. I will only tip takeout, and I have coffee shops, anything. If I'm at the counter ordering, especially if I call it in, I will only tip Because that's also, especially if I call it and I have to drive there, it's like, well, I will only tip. If they do something above and beyond, I will tip. I will go, you got me. I will tip.
There's been times at a couple dollars out of me.
They're so funny. There's been times at a coffee shop where they're like, you know, well, what would you like? They make it, they I'll put a double sleeve on, or like they give me like a punch card. They're like, did you know about our punch cards? If every time there's free something just to go above and beyond, I will be like, all right, you're good. You know?
It doesn't take much.
Doesn't take much. But a lot of people are rude, and then they're like, and they look at me and I'm like, would you tip you right now? Would you tip you right now? That's what you should do. Do the same thing with comedy. Would I pay to see me? Am I funny enough? Would I pay to see me? That's how I always look at it.
Well, yeah, you have to. Those people are paying a lot of money. Would you tip yourself
with this service? Yeah. So yeah, that's that. But there's some places where it's like, you know, yeah, I feel bad about it. And I'm just like, why do I feel guilty? This isn't a thing. I should have to tip. Why are we making this a thing? Okay. Anyway.
A lot of wieners to me are the thing that make you feel bad when they shouldn't.
Yeah. So.
Oh, man, wieners are insane.
Wieners are crazy, dude.
Can you give us a wiener commercial as I fix the camera?
What do you mean?
I'm going to reset it again. I don't know. Whatever you feel like.
A wiener commercial?
We've never had a wiener commercial.
But for your wiener? Do you have a wiener? Huh? I'm talking a big wiener. I know what you're thinking. Why is this guy telling us about big wieners? No, I don't mean an actual wiener, like a penis. I mean things that bug you. You know, it's like, this is a real wiener today. I don't know. This is...
That was good.
I don't know why I started off going like that. How big is your wiener? You ever have a big wiener just in your face?
Tell me about it.
Okay.
That's good. All right. So the whole reason I do this podcast is because I love that we get to turn our miserable moments into jokes.
That is big. That is nice.
It's so nice. You'll be like on the floor bleeding. Like, can this be a joke?
Yep. Like, that was terrible, but thank God I got content out of it.
Yeah. So it's a good optimistic thing that I'm grateful to have. But like, not all of them work.
No.
Do you want to start off with a moment that you did or did not make into a joke?
You pick.
I think let's start that you didn't and end with one that you did.
So something that I didn't. So
for those of you who don't know,
I always,
didn't means did not.
I always feel like there's been times where something's happened and I haven't been like, maybe like there's something's happened, but I'm like, eventually I'll get in a good headspace where I can make it funny.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to wait.
It could even be like a person, like a friend does something, but like I don't view it because I have to be very organic in my jokes. I have to be very like in it. So maybe something happens with a friend that's funny, but like for whatever reason, I'm just not, the friend's annoying me and I'm like, I can't even, or it's like an old friend that like did something shitty and you're like, dude, I just can't be funny about this person, you know? But I can get over that usually and be like, nah, I can now like give it some time. Okay, now I can make this funny. You know, I got to get in that zone where I go, got it. I can make it funny.
It just organically happens.
There is one relationship I was in, and it was a couple years ago now. And I honestly have, usually in relationships, you do get material out of every relationship. Every relationship I've been in that's been long enough, I've gotten material out of. I truly didn't get any material out of this relationship. And it was a long enough relationship where I should have had something. Nothing about it. Was such a bad relationship. It was just unfunny. And usually if it's bad, that's where you get your best stuff from.
Yeah.
Bad relationships. That's why when girls are like, when they're like, oh, I don't know, because I just don't want to become like one of your jokes. I'm like,
that's so funny that they say that.
If you become one of my jokes, you fucked up. If you make it in my act, you fucked up. If it's a good relationship, you won't be in my act. And if you are, it'll be cute.
That's what I'm saying. It still could be a good one.
It won't be bad. It won't be like bad. It'll be like, you know, but usually that's a wiener too. When girls like, oh, I don't know if I really want to date a comedian because I don't want to end up in, and it's like, first off, you do want well, number one, you want to end up in my act. That's the first thing. So you're lying. Or you wouldn't have said it. And second off, just be not crazy, and you'll be fine. But there's this one relationship. I think there was one joke I made about it, but it was like,
It just didn't.
But it wasn't about the relationship. It was about whatever. But truly, I don't even know. I want to forget it. It was traumatizing. It was abusive. It was bad. It was a bad relationship. And as a guy, I'm not allowed to talk about that. But this is not a good situation. And I honestly don't have anything funny to say about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And even though I'm obviously over everything, this was not a good part of my life. And that just nothing. I could do a TED talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I could do a serious talk about,
toxic relationships.
And being gaslit and lied to and manipulated. But I just don't find that there's anything funny to come out of it. And it's been enough time now where it's like, oh, remember that happened? Remember that happened? And it's like, no, this was just a bad relationship with a bad person. And there's no moments really to pull from it,
Yeah. And those are some things that you don't want to think about
anymore. And if I try to make it funny, I feel like another thing is I can usually try to find a way to make stuff funny, but I feel like if I try to make it funny, it won't come off funny. It will kind of be, the crowd will be like, oh, dude, that sounds like it sucks. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to be like, oh, no way she did that. They're going to be like, are you okay? Even if I can find a punchline to it, it's kind of like, ooh, like it might even almost remind people of bad relationships and be like, yeah, I don't want to hear about this.
Well, I know a lot of comics talk about really dark relationship stuff on stage.
Yeah.
It always makes me feel uncomfortable, and I don't laugh at that.
Right. Yeah, some of this stuff is like, yeah, this isn't funny. So yeah, totally. And you're just like, ooh, this sounds like you were in a bad place. And you should tell this to a therapist.
It's not a therapy session.
So that's the thing. It's like, can I take this to the stage? And did something happen where I'm like, oh, I can make a joke out of this? And it's like, honestly, no, there's nothing I can, like I said, the crowd would just be like, ooh.
It kind of has to be your style. Like Anthony Jeselnik, really dark. Like people know what to expect.
Right.
But then if not, it's just like, should we like hug him?
Right. Well, there's nothing to pull from. It's like, oh, cool. She tried to turn you against your family. Your family didn't like her from day one. She had no friends. Like she, this, that, and that. And it's like, oh, she's just pathological. Oh, that's like, oh, she was an opportunist. Oh, she used you to try to get stuff. It's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? It would be more of a, like I said, like a talk of a toxic conversation, a relationship, So it's like
not a joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good thing. Because a lot of people talk about doctors or stuff like that. But just some things just aren't meant for the stage.
Right. So but that's it. But like everything else I can usually pull from. Good relationships, I can still pull some, funny stuff from it, but in a good way. And there's been some other, I've had some like not great relationships, I guess, but like I can still pull stuff from it. But like there was one not great relationship I was in, and I pulled a hilarious joke out of it that I actually want to start doing again. And it was about how bad she was with her phone. It's on my second album.
New phone, who is this?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And this was a bad relationship, but I was able to pull some stuff out of it because she did some funny stuff. But it was like she was so sketchy with her phone, but the way she was, I could make funny. And then like it was about me knowing I have to go through her phone at night, and she would sleep with her phone under her pillow at night, like I go like a chastity belt for her phone. So like I couldn't get it, but one night I was like, I got to figure it out. So she plugged the phone. This is true. She plugged the phone into the charger, and the charger was plugged into my outlet, and so like it would run up. And so the phone would be under her head, under the pillow, but the charger cord would be sticking out because it was plugged into the wall. So my whole plan was to snake it out. But like a really good tag in it I like is that, so the phone ends up falling under the bed.
Did it make a noise? I'm sure.
Well, she didn't wake up. And I was like, oh no. So then I was like, I have to go through it. This was the night. I had been so ready for this night.
I could never do
I judo roll off the bed. And I'm under the bed reaching for it. I'm like thinking about dislocating my shoulder to get a couple more inches so I can get it. And I remember, and then during the joke, and this is true, I go, even if I go through this phone and I find nothing, I've got to get out of this relationship.
Clearly, if you need to look
Do you know
through
what I'm
someone's
saying?
phone, it's not a good relationship.
So there is no good or bad situation. There's no best case scenario. This relationship is over. I'm either going to find something, which I ended up finding stuff, of course. I'm either going to find something and that's not good, or I'm not going to find something and that's not good.
That is a good miserable moment that you turned into a joke, because that's not a good moment.
Yeah, and of course I found stuff and she was awful, and but I was able to pull, she did such crazy things that I was able to pull some funny stuff from it, and I got a bunch of material out of it, But this one was just, I just don't even know what's funny. It would just be like, it would just be like, oof,
You just have to let that go.
Yeah.
And try to forget it ever happened.
Yeah. So
that's good. Is there any other jokes that you made into, or moments you made into a joke? Yeah.
There's a joke I'm doing now. I don't even really want to reveal it, but I had this idea, but I had an idea for this. I wanted to do it since I started.
Okay.
And it's not even that dark of a topic, but it involves an animal. That's all I can say. Not a human that's an animal. Like, I'm talking like a literal animal.
I didn't.
And it would be a little sad when I would tell it, and I didn't know how to. But now that I've been doing it for a while, I know how to tell it, and it's killing. And it took me years to be able to tell it. But I didn't think it was...
This is a cliffhanger. This is fucked up, guys.
You got to watch my stand-up. I didn't think it was too sad to tell. I was excited to tell it. But the crowd would always be a little...
You can't tell us the story of it?
No, because the joke is the story. But I mean, it's about my childhood dog and his passing.
Okay.
And so people get a little bit like, oh, because it's sad, but it's so funny. And he was my best friend growing up, and it's
John
not like
was never popular.
It's not tragic. It's not a tragic story. He didn't get hit by a car and nothing like that. That's why it's what happened surrounding it and how I was told about it and stuff. That's like, was so fucked up that it's like, it's funny. But like when I used to try to tell when I was too new, I just couldn't get it across, the funniness. And now I got the tags and everything to go along with it. And now it's like, boom. And this was something that one of the first things I tried to tell on stage.
Wow.
And now, 12 years in, I started doing it about a year ago, a year or so ago. And it's just building. And that's the joke I'm talking about, where I added more onto it recently.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. You almost posted. I almost was able to share a clip.
I do have a joke, a long 10-minute story that I do about these girls that came on my dad's boat last summer with me.
Oh, no. We know those boat girls in Florida. It is so funny.
Three. So this is great. This was a horrible night. Horribly hilarious, by the way. They're cool. They're cool. But a horrible night for me, because I thought it was gonna be an awesome night. And I just went on stage after this happened, and I'm like, I'm just gonna tell this story. I had 10 minutes, and I'm just gonna tell this. See if it, and people are listening and laughing without it even being I just told what happened.
That's how you know it's good.
And I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think it was gonna be good. I was like, let me just try this. I didn't think it was even funny. There's not even a punchline to it.
I'm so excited.
And people request it. I was in New York doing a show recently, and this girl came, and she's like, my friend came and was like, he better do that fucking boat joke.
Really?
And I'm like, oh my God, it's not even a joke. It's just literally a story. And, it was last summer, and I'm doing a show in New York. I can give away the beginning because I'm doing a show in New York, and I'm doing a quick joke about my dad's boat, like a quip about it. And some girl goes, I want to go on your dad's boat. In the middle, as I'm telling it, she goes, I want to go on your dad's boat. So after the set, basically there's some stuff that kind of happened, and then they end up coming on the boat. We go to my dad's boat. It's the three of them, and two of them are 22 and one's 21.
Oh, this is not good.
So I'm at
but that's what I figured when he said boat girls.
And it was just hilarious. They're hilarious.
And it's just them three and you and your dad?
No, and just me.
Oh.
Yeah.
On your dad's boat.
At night. It was like at night. We went there late.
Did you drive the boat or was it just docked?
So the thing is I can't take the boat out by myself. My dad won't let me do it. So I just take people to the boat. Like, I'll take a girl on the boat, And then she'll be like, where are we going? And I'm like, just here. We're just going to sit here.
Oh my God, this is like a Matthew McConaughey thing.
Totally. So we just went there, but they knew that I wasn't taking it out. So then I would go on the road, shortly after that, I went on the road with Esther a bunch, and I would start telling the story. And all of a sudden, girls that age would DM me after the show.
To go on the boat?
Well, I wouldn't be in the same city. I would be in like Salt Lake City or Tennessee or whatever, Nashville. They'd just be like, hey, we're that age. Like the first time it happened, these girls were awesome. They're so awesome. I'm still friendly with them. They're so cool. They're like, hey, that story was so funny, but we want you to know that girls our age are not like that. We are way cooler.
But what did they do?
They were just the menaces. I thought, because I'm an idiot and guys are so gross that in our heads, we're like, I don't want to give too much away. But in our heads, we're like...
You keep telling stories that you can't finish, John.
So I need to talk about jokes I've already done that are out there. But I have this whole hour I'm trying to get out. So some of this stuff is going to make it in there.
Okay.
So I don't want to...
Sorry, guys. A lot of the teasers here.
But that age, they're too young for me to hang, like, of course, to date, of course, I know that. But I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, who cares? Like, they were just having a fun time.
It's a fun night.
But they're like, I don't remember what they're like until you're with them. And then you're like, oh my God, it's hilarious, but it's like not fun for me.
You're a very different person at that age.
Yeah, they're wild. They don't make any sense, and they do things, and you're like, "Why? What did you just do and say?"
Your brain's not even fully developed yet.
That's what I say in the joke. I say that.
Yeah.
So they don't have consequence really. They're just but then now I'm learning that they're awesome to hang with because they're fun to actually just hang out with, and like because they don't care. The bartenders all know who they are. Like they're a fun time, but. So I'd go to different cities and that age group would start DMing me. They'd be in the crowd and like DM me. And I'm just like, this is so funny. They always wanted to take me out.
That's funny.
Yeah. It would be really funny. But they're all like nice and sweet. But that was a good story that happened. And I go, this night was such a disaster. Nothing bad happened. I still talk to them. We're in a group thread. But,
we're in a group thread.
But it was just what's
the name of the thread? Is it titled?
The Boat Girls.
Is it really?
But the night just ended so much differently than I thought it was going to.
So did anyone puke or?
No, nothing like that. But it was just, I can't, you have to hear me tell it.
Okay.
Is this annoying?
Yeah, it's definitely annoying.
What I'm doing is good. This is good because now people might be like, I want to hear it and buy tickets to shows. So hold on.
Who is it?
It's your publicist. That was good that I did that, right? Yeah, because you want to leave them wanting more.
Really?
So you think that they're going to probably want to hear the jokes now, right? Because of it. I'm building up the suspense. Good. Yeah. Don't give any more. No matter what I do, don't give any more, right? Right. Okay, thanks. Yeah, she called and said.
She didn't even want to talk to me?
No. She actually thinks I'm doing a great job of not revealing too much. Or she actually wants to work with me, but and not that she's too expensive, but I don't know that.
Does she still want to work with me?
She'll take your money, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, she'll take your money.
Okay, well, I'm glad she likes you.
Yeah. She said it would just. She said, "Look, I just got to tell you." She said, "Honey, darling." I don't know why she talks like that.
She's
How old is she?
I was going to say she's actually from the That's what explains the phone. She's from the 1920s.
So that must
be
New
York.
PR that she's giving you weird advice.
No, I think that it's still good to give guys blowjobs for spots.
Totally, yes. She said, "Why are you married? Huh?" It's not good to do that, by the way.
No, that's a bad joke.
This was not.
Really bad joke. I've never done that.
No wiener stuff.
But in the 1920s, they were probably told.
No, they were probably not giving. They were probably not giving a choice.
That's the sad part.
It was probably like, do this or just go away.
Yeah. Okay. We don't want to get into that because it's really fucked up.
Yeah.
Almost as fucked up as you not finishing a story.
Well, got to build a suspense somehow.
Oh, man.
A good magician never reveals his tricks.
Jesus. Well, is there anything else you want to say, John?
Yeah, tons.
Okay.
What should we talk about?
You know, I always think it would be a funny story, but you're just like, it's too weird. Is like talk about like when you lose your virginity.
Oh.
Do you ever think of making that into a joke?
I had a pleasant experience with that. I lost my mind to a longtime girlfriend. We dated for a little over 2 years. We waited a year.
Oh, wow.
I waited a year. Actually, I waited because she wanted to do it before she left for summer camp that first summer. Sleepaway summer camp.
So cute.
And I was like, no, let's do it when you get back. Because I was like, why would we do it? And then you go away for a month or whatever. Yeah, I was like, just do that when we get back. You know,
because you don't want to, like want more and can't.
Yes, but
and then cheat on her. Oh my god.
Or she's at a sleepaway camp. That
Co-ed?
was a horrible. Yeah, that was a horrible summer for me.
Is that your first heartbreak or like anxiety relationship moment?
But I didn't know it at the time. But I would like she was able to. There's no cell phones. She would call my house once a night. She was able to call me.
That's nice.
So I always had but I was like busy. So I always would like make sure I was home for the phone call. So that was my whole summer. And she, I obviously missed some nights, and she would write me and stuff. But and I went up with her parents during visitation.
Dear John.
Dear John.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was her name Taylor Swift?
Yes.
Oh my God, you love Taylor Swift. Didn't she have a song named Dear John?
It's after me. I'm going to date Taylor Swift probably. Oh, she's engaged now, isn't she?
Do you ever talk about the Dear John part in your Taylor Swift joke?
No, but I should. I do have a Taylor Swift joke.
It's a really good joke, and I love Taylor Swift too.
Another one you guys should watch.
Another one that you're not gonna hear right now.
But yeah, that so funny that summer was. I didn't realize. I didn't know I had anxiety because you don't know what it is, that feeling in your stomach.
So I just called it out.
Yeah, so that was a tough summer for me, but I didn't know it. I was just like, I didn't know it was a tough summer. I was just like, oh, this kind of sucks. Because she was like, I was her first like everything pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But almost like the real stuff. But like she had like 2 guys at that camp because she had been they like go there every. Like,
wait,
their
2
family
guys that she
had
knew
hooked up with.
Oh, ooh!
Before we did because she went to that camp. Her whole family, like she has a twin sister. They went. I think the twin sister might have even gone back to be a counselor when she was older. The older sister went. I think the mom even went. Like this is like it's like a long family tree of going to this like sleepaway camp.
That's cute.
So yeah, they've been going since they were kids. So like her first like, boyfriend, quote unquote, whatever, like was at the camp and stuff like that. So now that she's she's a little older and like ready for that stuff, I was like, oh no, like what if, a late night
takes this from me.
Cause she was prude, so I was like, oh no, now she's been with me for the whole school year and like, oh no, it's going to happen. But I didn't know I was having all these feelings. I can articulate them now, but like, I didn't know that's what was going on. But now looking back on it, I was like, that was kind of that wasn't the most fun summer. Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people's first anxiety feelings probably stemmed. Well, there's childhood shit, but past that, if there wasn't that much relationships.
My first girlfriend cheated on me, and I think that messed me up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That explains so much.
7th grade. And I was so
7th grade?
I was so naive and innocent.
Aww.
I was like, oh, this is the person I'm going to marry. Like that's how I thought. It was like cuz I wasn't a late bloomer, but I was an aggressive bloomer. I went from like not liking girls to like liking girls. It was like, I don't ew, and then I was like, whoa. It was so weird. Like my friends,
like 6th to 7th grade. Isn't that happen?
So my friends started dating girls in like 5th and 6th grade, 5th grade, and then 6th grade.
I remember the 5th grade. You go to the movies.
Me was 7th grade, but then it was like 0 to 100. I went from like nothing to like touching boobs like within like a week. It was like I was like a certified player. Like,
dear John, I didn't say you could touch my tits.
I left a party in 6th grade because they were playing Spin the Bottle, and this girl had a crush on me and was rigging it so that and I hadn't kissed anyone yet, and was rigging it so that the bottle would be on me. And as they were doing it, and everyone knew next it was going to be me and Kristen.
Your name would be Kristen.
I literally went, hold on. And I went upstairs and I called my mom and I left the party. And I didn't tell anyone. I left the party.
That's
oh my
so
God,
funny.
I forgot. Dude, I called my mom. It was like one of my first boy-girl parties. I went, I'll be right back. And I went upstairs. No one knew what I was doing. I called my mom And I went outside and I walked all the way down the street. And I remember someone going, "Where are you? Coming back down?" I was like, "Oh, I'll be right there."
And you
I
just left.
Bounced.
That's so funny.
I bounced.
Kristen was so bummed.
That I got you tell on stage.
See, look at that. We just found the joke.
I bounced.
How exciting.
And then after that, the first girl, I'll never forget the first girlfriend I had. We didn't even make out or anything. It was at a dance and her friends her friends came up to me, not her, and goes, Jenny wants to know if you want to be her boyfriend. And I went, no. And then they were like, "Oh, come on, she likes you." And I was like, "No." And then my friends went, "No, he'll say it's a yes." And then she was like, and then her friends go, "Really?" And they were like, yeah. And they went back and went, "Okay, great." And then all of a sudden I was just dating her.
What?
It was a Friday night and I was like, oh,
it was an
okay.
arranged marriage.
It was an arranged,
First date.
It was like I got a mule. So we didn't talk the whole night. We were boyfriend, girlfriend now. I honestly didn't even consent. It wasn't consensual. I didn't consent to it, but no one would care. And then we didn't talk. And then I think she called me the next day and we talked on the phone. And then that was it. And then first thing Monday morning, I had my friends break up with her.
Oh my God. That was your first relationship.
She was sweet though. I think she was cool, but I was like, I didn't really like girls yet. I don't think. Then, do you want to hear the story?
What story?
About my first kiss?
Yeah.
Then I go to this dance. And
like the homecoming middle school dance?
No, they had like so I went to the public school. That was in Pennsylvania. There was two public schools. Two main schools. I went to the high school. There was a bunch of private schools. The private schools had really good dances. They had better dances than we did. And all the schools would kind of go, but you have to get tickets to go. But you can get tickets, right? So I had tickets and I'm at the dance, the Malvern prep dance.
Ooh, fancy.
And we were all like, and I remember I looked out the window and I saw this girl and I knew who she was, but I saw her and I don't know what it was, but I was like, wow.
Is that your first hard wiener?
I had a hard wiener. And I was just like, my wiener is getting so hard. She's outside through the glass. This is out of a movie.
This is like a rom-com.
This is out of a movie. I'm in 7th grade. She's standing there like this outside. I'm like, she's so
cold.
Beautiful. It was drizzling.
Oh no.
And she was outside like this. She didn't have a ticket, I think. I went and got her a ticket.
Aww.
And got her in. And I was like, I don't know. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. I was like, I don't know what it is about this girl, but I just thought she was so, you know what? I had known who she was. She went to the other school.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing her, like, because when I played basketball, I remember she was like there. I did have a crush on her. I don't think I even knew I had a crush on her, but I would see her in the stands and be like, when we played their school, because it was our rivals, I would be like, whoa, like this. I just remember always being like, oh. So when I saw her there, I was like, and I didn't even know, I can't even believe I did that. I can't even believe I got her in because I was like not even thinking. That was like, so weird. So then she asks me to dance in a slow dance.
What?
Because that's how it went. And she was like the hot girl from the other school, but she was fast. She was already hooked up with a bunch of dudes. But I didn't really know that because I didn't even kiss anyone.
Fast is such an old term thing.
I know. So we're slow dancing, and it was the Titanic theme song.
Stop it.
It was the Titanic theme song.
No, that's so romantic.
And we're slow dancing, and she's staring at my face, and I don't know why. I don't know why she's staring at my face.
Did you have a booger?
So I'm looking down at her like, what the fuck? Hey, dude. Hey, what are you looking at? Why are you looking at my face? Look away. We're dancing.
Yeah.
And she slowly starts to lean in.
Oh.
And I'm just like, eyes are wide open. Like, what is she? Is she going to headbutt me? And then she just leans in and starts making out with me.
Holy shit.
I've never even thought about making out with a girl. I didn't even know what to do. I never practiced.
No pop kiss, just straight to make out?
Boom. So now I'm wide-eyed the whole time. And she's like, and I will never forget feeling her tongue on my tongue and going, this feels weird.
Oh,
so now
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. The Titanic theme song
Must
was
have
like,
been really good.
and she's just like passionately, just like so cute, like soft lips, just like that. And
Oh no.
oh yeah.
That's
Like I
terrifying.
look so crazy.
Yeah. I can't even look at you doing
Imagine
that.
just like, but now I'm like looking around too. So I'm just like, I'm not even there. I'm just like,
I'm sure you're just shocked.
I'm in shock. I'm actually, Mandy, I'm in shock. That's what it is.
Oh, that is so funny.
I'm in shock. Complete and utter shock of what's transpired. And there is a cop staring at me, kind of like he must have been like, this guy. I want to say it's creepy, but I honestly think he was probably like, this guy looks insane. I'm just looking at him as this girl, and she's got her eyes are closed. She has no idea what is, right in front of her eyelids because her eyelids are closed, and I'm just like this.
Oh no.
And I'm just like, and then like the song ends, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? I remember I think I had gum in my mouth and being like, oh, I got something in my gum. And being like, I was like thinking of
Oh God. No.
I'm like,
Whew, all right.
we had to change the battery mid story.
His tongue got the battery overheated.
Yeah. The battery was like, this is too much for me. My wiener's hard.
Okay.
We got the battery's wiener hard. Okay.
So now you're a pro kisser.
My friends run up to Monday morning run up to like the popular friend at the time, and he was like the ladies' man, and he would like, John and Lindsay made out 3 times, my dad picked us up.
Lindsay, first Kristen, now Lindsay. Like these are the exact names I would if I made up names for these people.
My dad picked us up in the dance, and everyone was laughing in the car, and I was just staring down. And my dad was like, "What happened at that dance?" And I was like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up!" And they were like, "Ooh," and they were drawing like a heart on the window because it was like cold out. And they were like, JC plus L, and they were like, but my dad was like, my dad had an idea, and my dad is such a dick with this stuff. So he was like, what happened? And I was, shut up. I would have murdered somebody in that moment. Would I have had the correct instruments? And they had told him. If somebody handed me a gun or a knife at that moment, and one of my friends started to tell my dad, that's how mortified I was and embarrassed of my dad to find out that I made out with a girl, that I would have murdered a friend in cold blood if they would have told him.
Thank God.
I was wearing Michael Jordan cologne. Too much of it. Oh. I got a headache I used to give myself headaches with how much cologne. I put so much Michael Jordan cologne on before I went out that I gave myself a headache. And it was normal. I'm like, all right, did I put enough on? Yeah, I feel lightheaded. Cool.
Oh no, does it smell good? And there's
awful. Gotta be awful. I can't imagine Michael Jordan cologne was good back then.
I don't know.
And I was like, oh, Michael Jordan. This is what the chicks will love.
He gets a lot of Gucci.
Yeah. Girls will be like, oh, what's your fragrance? Michael Jordan, the basketball player?
Oh, who?
It's so funny to have a basketball player as like, that's the fragrance.
That is funny.
I don't even think it was real. It smelled like friggin' Febreze probably.
Oh no, worse than Axe.
Oh,
I guess some Axe doesn't smell bad.
Sweet.
But that's
I remember that. I used to actually give myself headaches. So that happened, and then we dated for a little over a month, which was very long in 7th grade. Time. But she was at a different school, and then I'm pretty sure she cheated on me. And then one of my friends called me to break up, and I was very upset. And I found out that she cheated, and I didn't even know what cheating was. And then she hooked up with a bunch of my friends after that.
Wow, that sucks.
I loved her because I didn't know.
I'm sure.
So it was like my first girlfriend, my first kiss. Then
first heartbreak.
The first guy from my school. Then she made her way to my school. That's what happened. That was the first guy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was not good. I tried to go to second base there at Titanic the movie.
And you were like, "This is like the song that we first
made
kissed
out, everything."
To.
No, I tried to go up her sleeve. It didn't work.
A long sleeve or a short sleeve?
She was wearing a shirt like this.
Oh, yeah.
And I tried to go I tried to go instead of like going down or up this way. I tried to go up her sleeve. I was like sitting like this, and I was like,
"What did she do?"
Nothing. I think she would have let it happen, but I might have gotten to like here, And then I just kind of stopped, and then everyone heard about it, and that wasn't great.
Oh.
Everyone was like, up to sleep. They'd see me in the hallway. They'd be like, up to sleep.
Boy.
I mean, I was so clueless. I had a bowl cut. I had a bowl cut.
That's so funny. Earlier when we were talking about haircuts, because I know a lot of boys did, I was going to ask if you ever had a bowl cut.
I had a bowl cut. And then after her, she really broke my heart. I wasn't the same. I think ever again.
He's not kidding.
And then I cut my hair like 98 degrees and I went full player.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I
greased. You got greased.
And I got greased, and I'll tell you what, I got a lot of girls after that. I was a player. Girls liked me, and I was just boom.
Man, you could have been a sweet, sweet boy.
I could have been a sweet boy.
But Lindsay had to ruin it.
She had to ruin it.
You will never no. I had the craziest losing virginity story.
Really? Okay.
Okay. Oh shit. Hello? Are you there? Sorry, I can't hear you. Oh, that's better. What were you saying? I think she's on a train or something.
She turned on?
No, I think she's on a train.
Oh.
But John wants to know if you're turned on. No? All right. Oh, she just yelled at me and said, I can't tell my story. So she wants me to be more like you.
Right.
She wants me to be more like you.
I hate when she's so good.
She's good.
She's good.
So I guess you guys will have to check out my stand-up to not hear how I lost my virginity. But one day I think I might actually do it.
So you're not going to tell the story?
No, I can't.
Oh.
But that was so great having you.
She could, because she saw the, okay. This was so fun. Some of these stories good. We really got into it.
I want to hear that joke on stage.
Thank you.
I want that to be in your third special.
Thank you.
Is your third special going to be video?
I want to do a special. I have 2 albums and I want to do a special. I've been trying to get it shot for so long. I don't know if you remember this, but before the pandemic, I was supposed to shoot one in September of 2020.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. So I had the same guys that had just done Jamie Kennedy's special. And then they had everything getting everything ready. And about middle April, they were like, I don't think this is going to happen.
I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah. April. And I was like, fuck. So I was sitting on an hour then.
Damn.
To get ready. I was ready. So now I have so much material. So I got to get the old stuff out. Mm-hmm. I could do 3 specials right now, I think. In a row. I could do boom, boom, boom. 3 different specials right now, I think.
Well, you're lucky because my publicist is listening.
I know. And she's going to help make this work.
She's going to help. Well, think about, I have to burp.
All right.
Okay. Sorry about that. I know I couldn't hide it. It's going to come out.
No, everything's fine.
Everything's good.
Okay. I have to burp.
I think I have to burp. I think that's going to be one of those everything happens for a reason things that hopefully will come out at a better time that's going to be more beneficial to your career.
Here's the thing. So I'm on a kick right now. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I'm on a very positive kick trying to rewire my brain. I still don't know if I believe in everything happens for a reason, but I do believe in, I guess essentially timing and opportunities. And, I think stand up, you just get better. So like maybe I'm more ready now or something, or, just the climate is better to put a special out because it's more, maybe it's a little easier to do it right now. So I guess essentially it's loosely like everything happens for a reason, but I am trying to look at that and be like, look, I'm just going to do it now. I'm going to hit the ground running. Hopefully I get one out soon, sooner than later. That pops off and I'm ready to do another one. And then I'm ready to do another, and just boom, boom, boom.
Be great.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Or I put one out, it does really well, and I already have a new hour to do immediately after that. Yeah.
That's good too.
Yeah. So
hit the ground running.
Yep.
I thought you were going to say, I thought he was about to say, or I put it out and it does awful.
No. I think if I put some of this stuff out, it's going to do very well.
I think it will too.
Thank you. I'm very confident in some of my material that I do think it needs to get out. I think it will propel me to the next level. I do if I get this out, which I will get out. When I get it out, I think it will take me to the next level because I do believe the stuff I'm sitting on needs to get out. So.
All right. Yeah. You heard it here on Misery Loves Mandy. Woo! With John Campanelli.
Thank you guys. Follow me, John Campanelli 1.
He has a 1 on the end.
Sucks. I'm a wiener.
He's a wiener. Ooh, an Italian wiener.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you're right. You do have an Italian wiener.
Yep.
Wow. I've never seen it. I just know he's Italian.
Yep. 100%.
All right. Bye.
Bye.